meeting with some of our mastermind students while we were there. I recognized the wood when you moved your laptop or your phone.
Absolutely. It was right next to the doctor's office. So I just came over here for a moment.
Very cool, man. How's your finger feeling?
It's good. It's good. Just knocking away the doctor stuff. But we're still here. Even when we have a doctor's appointment, we still got to make our commitments.
Got to make the Zooms great again or something like that.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's delve in. Let's get some wins going. Let's get some energy up. We've been hearing some amazing wins today from the mastermind community, and we can share a couple of those in a little bit. But
Let's
let's
hear
pick
one
a couple
from
of, go ahead,
let's hear
brother.
one from Veronica. 'Cause we had a call the other day, and I know you texted over a couple wins after you signed up for the Relu event, but or for the Truca event. But tell us what your wins are.
Well, I had a kind of a kick in the pants call from Leo yesterday, and actually it was called a strategy session. Um, and we went over some role playing on phone calls and stuff. And so I had I found three for sale by owners in Rockford, Illinois, which is not where I'm from. I'm from Washington, and I found one here. And one of them I had just told Leo on the phone, I said, I'm kind of intimidated because it 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 looks like he knows what he's doing. He's an owner, but he just kind of had this presence about him. So I said, I'm kind of intimidated by him. And then he said, Leo told me, just practice your calls and purposely say you're going to screw them up. And so I kind of went into it with that. Well, I'm just going to practice. If it's not a deal, it's not a deal. And this one turned out to be he was a flipper, and he's got like five houses. And when I told him what I was doing, as far as putting deserving families in homes and that kind of thing, he's like, wow, I'd like to work with you on that one. And anyway, so it just kind of opened the door to some more potential work in the future with this guy. And same with the one in Tacoma. I thought, well, yeah, this isn't going to work out. And he was another one that he was open to owner finance, and we're going to meet sometime today at the property, which is just like 2 miles from my house. And anyway, so it was kind of cool because things were starting to work
I love it. That's what I'm talking about. Getting over that fear and just making that phone call.
for sure.
Sweet.
Well, let's delve in. I have several things I want to share with you today. We have good problems. I have had four people call me in the last 24 hours and say, I did what you said. I called these deals. The deals that we're talking to, we're ready for a contract, or we got a contract. We need help to know what the heck to do next. So today is all about closing the deal. Number one, write it down if you're taking notes. Number two is about what to do if deals don't work out. Sometimes they fall apart in title. We find that the value wasn't what we thought it was. There's all sorts of things that can come up. So we want to make sure we're prepared to deal with challenges. So number one, how to close. Number two, what to do when deals struggle or fall apart. Number three, how to reverse engineer a deal. These are very important. We're going to get as far through this as we can today in the next 26 minutes we have together. And we're going to have a good time covering the rest tomorrow that we might not get to today. So, as always, let's get the energy up, finding out where your energy level is. Did you get your daily habits in? What's your energy level? 1 to 10. Type your number in the chat. Type your number in the chat. Got me some hot tea. What are you drinking today, Leo? At the coffee shop.
Got a protein shake right now. I'm about to go
Got a
eat
little
after
protein going.
this. Yeah, had a different morning this morning. So, even when we have discrepancies to come up, you still figure out how to make things work, get the energy up. So after this call, I'll get my water and get a meditation, go for a walk before I get back to work.
Genesis is at a 9. I've been hearing good things about you today, Genesis. I talked to Glenn. Awesome. So we got lots of 9s, 10s. We got a 3. We got a 7.5. And thank you. And you should be proud of yourself for showing up even when you don't feel like it, because that's what makes the difference. All right. So let's make something happen. Closing the deal. You've contracted the deal. You've done all the right things, or you've got the contract out to sign. Now you're moving forward to closing the deal. Number one, we have to find a title company or a closing attorney. A title company is fine if it's a cash deal, a wholesale deal. If it's a creative deal under financing, we have to make sure that we find a closing attorney. So somebody type it in the chat for me, closing attorney, closing attorney. We got to make sure we find the right closing attorney. And we got to send it over to them to get a title search. Now, here's the bad news. If the title search comes in and you're not able to close the deal because there's crap on the title, you may still owe the title company a couple $100. So just know that going in. And of course, for those of you who need partners, we partner with those in our community. I know we haven't made the offer yet. We are opening up 12 spots here in a couple of weeks for several of you, for 12 of you to join us in our 90-day accelerator. And we're going to be working together with several of you. So if you're in the Freedom Life family or the accelerator training, as several of you are, as I guess about 52 of you now are in one of those two communities, we partner with you guys. And of course, offer to work side by side with you, and not required to partner with us in there, but you can. So make sure that you are finding a title company, closing attorney, and ordering a title search. That's key notes between now and close. Because if we find out that for whatever reason it's an inherited property, maybe there's more than one person on the deed, we got to figure out how we're going to clear the title. We figure out there's more liens than what they told us about, we got to figure out how we're going to clear the title. And 9 times out of 10, everything comes back just fine, just like we expected. So number one, find a closing attorney if it's a terms deal, or a title company or closing attorney if it is a cash deal, wholesale deal, and get a title search going. Now, the good thing is you all are in the circle, except for anybody who's just now showing up. For those of you who might just be showing up, welcome. We are on day 18 of 60 and we're having a blast. And you're not too late, because it's just now getting even better. Keeps doing that. So make sure that you are in the circle. Paul, if you could post that link for anybody that's not in the circle, because in the circle, you're going to meet other people who are probably in your area, who probably have closing attorneys and title companies to recommend you to. So make sure you're in the circle, connecting, asking for what you need in there. We answer questions in there as well, and there's lots of resources. All right, find a title company, get a title search done. Now, of course, during this time period, depending if it's a wholesale deal or even if it's a terms deal, many times you're going to already be putting out marketing to find a buyer. So when it comes to finding a buyer, there is 3 ways we find them. Well, there's a lot more ways than that, but there's 3 main ways. Number one, I recommend signs in the yard, unless it's in an area where you're worried about it being vandalized because it's empty. Otherwise, signs in the yard that say either A, if it's a terms deal, rent to own your own beautiful home, bad credit, okay. Phone number, don't forget the phone number, that's important. Or if it's a cash wholesale deal, it's going to say way below value, house for sale, way below value, phone number. All right. So depending on which category you're going, you want signs coming in the front yard, and you want pointer signs. We order ours from supercheapsigns.com, coming in from every main road in. All right. Number one, title search. Number 2, start marketing it. The second way, so number 1, signs. Number 2, we post it out online. We're going to put it on Zillow. We're going to put it on Facebook. We're going to put it on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups. We're going to put it everywhere we can online where there's houses for sale. And then thirdly is joint ventureships. All right. I've already made mention we often partner with those who are in our communities. And whenever you apply to become our community, that's part of the application you go through, because we make sure that everyone in the community is there to serve. So a lot of times there's joint ventureships done within the community where people are either selling your houses alongside of you, joint venturing on lease option or on wholesale. Because some people, like Craig and Rich, or like 6 or 8 others I can name here, have thousands and thousands and thousands of cash buyers. And they can plug your deal in and sell it a heck of a lot faster because they've been doing it for years and they built a massive buyer's list. All right. So, how to close the deal? We want to get a title search done. We want to start marketing it right away. Now, of course, we're going to go through the closing process, and it's going to be way more than I can cover today. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about the actual documentation that you go through here in coming days, and giving you access to all of the documentation that we use as well to make sure you have everything covered from start to finish. When it comes to closing the deal, those are going to be your first 2 steps, because you got the title search started and you got the marketing underway. Now you're in progress to head toward the closing table. Before I get to number 2, what to do when things don't go as planned, I want to jump back over to Leo and see what is on your mind, brother, that you might want to add to that.
Yeah, most people's biggest fear is not knowing what to do next, and that's why they subconsciously sabotage the deal when they're on a call. But of course, when you have someone who's there with you every step of the way, for example, okay, seller said yes. Now let's look at the deal, let's strategize, and let's structure the deal together and see how it is. Okay, perfect. Go back to the seller and say this. Okay, here's how you find a title company. Where's the deal? Okay, let's find a title company here. Oh, hey, David's in that market. Let's talk to David. Okay, he has a title company. Also, let's go find a real estate attorney. We put all those pieces together, and you can kind of walk through someone every step of the way. And that's why, we build what we build. On these 60 days, we're trying to teach everything. We're trying to put it all together. And of course, those of you who are going to apply for the 90-day accelerator, that is what it is. It's taking our hand and holding it every step of the way for 90 days straight to guarantee that you get a deal, because you will be doing the calls and we're going to listen to you do the calls and you're going to get better. And it's like what I was doing with Veronica yesterday. It's like I fixed her tonality right there, because when she did the pitch, her tonality went up, and it puts sellers off in that moment, right? But now she had the confidence to know that someone would be listening to her calls. And now that she has this deal, for example, she's able to have a lot more confidence there. So I want you guys to understand that, and understand the real basis of mentorship. When I started working with Andrew, it was the most helpful thing that he was a dial away. That, okay, Andrew, seller said yes. What the heck do I do now? And then every step of the way, I was able to get guidance until I got that check. And the day that I got that check, that's what changed my life, because it helped me understand, really, this works. This business does work, and I can go do it myself, and I could do it over and over and over and over and over again. So as Andrew's speaking, kind of understand your comfort level, understand your confidence level, and then understand the resources that are going to be there for you. The reason we're only taking on 12 people is because we want to make sure that we can reach all 12 of you. And we want to make sure that the 12 that come on are actually committed, right? So typically we see, okay, who's been here on the 60 days, continuing to show up, who's actually making the phone calls. Because if you're someone who's already making the phone calls and ready to go, we could take you to that next level at the easiest level. Because now you're doing 2, 3, 4 deals a month. Now you're able to have the abundance, have the freedom that you really need. And our biggest thing is, okay, what's next? You're doing 3, 4 deals a month. You're doing 3 lease options every single month. What's happening next? Where do you want to go next? Do you want to do charity? Do you want to expand the business? Do you want to do co-living properties? What's your biggest goal? And that's what excites me and Andrew. So just keep that in your mind as we offer that in coming weeks. And as we offer our events, our 3-day event that we do, because again, you guys are here for every day for 30 minutes, but imagine being with us for 3 days straight. That's where we can really, really, really dial in the mindset and dial in the structure of the actual business so you can start rocking. So keep that in mind. But Andrew, you can keep going.
Absolutely. And I want to share this real quickly with you guys. I'm just sitting here, I got my phone out, and I spoke with actually 13 of our mastermind members today. And I was just looking here on my screen, adding up, and I know I'm missing some, but yesterday, Carmen got her third contract of the week. This is crazy. Yesterday, Carmen said she got her third contract of the week. Ahmed, our lead acquisition, has texted me a deal that it looks like it's going to contract today. Derek, our acquisition manager, he also sent me a deal that he's working. And then Kevin got a $10,000 check yesterday. Duffy said he got a
Right.
$28,000 check, but he texted back and said he was mistaken. It was only 23,000. Crap. Someone else got a 50K, and David got a 120K closing next week. Now, I'm sharing this, and I know I'm missing. I think there was either 3 or 4. Oh, Erica is JV'd with another community member and has a potential buyer looking at the house they contracted the day before yesterday, this weekend. So I'm just looking at these wins, and I said that to say one thing: momentum. Oh, Stephen Hope. Stephen is going to be looking at a house or getting a contract today or tomorrow. I just don't recall, so forgive me. But 2 points I want to make. Number one, type it in the chat for me. Momentum. Oh, and Judy's helped Mike. Mike's getting a contract. I know there's either 3 or 4 more that I'm missing. So I'm just saying this for you to see what happens when you start hanging around a group of winners. Your likelihood when you end up jumping into a community like we have our exclusive Freedom Life family, when you end up jumping into something, if you're one of the 12 accepted into the 90-day accelerator, everything changes, right? So Glenn always has a saying, when you plug into the tree, it's impossible to fail. So I want to share these next 2 notes with you. Before I do, is Mr. David Selvin on?
I believe he is.
Just bring David up. We just had an amazing, this guy is so incredible and has a heart of gold. I love this guy.
Hey guys, what's up,
Brother
Andrew? Leo?
David. How you doing, brother?
I'm feeling amazing.
Awesome. If you don't mind, brother, just tell us what's going on with this deal, this 6-figure deal you got closing.
So it's actually not in like a lot of people in the chat was like, well, Scott was like, man, I want that buy you about 4 lattes in California. But it's not in California. It's actually a 4-unit deal in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So
doing this virtually.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, you can do real estate, you can live wherever you want and do real estate wherever you want, you know. So, I mean, that's just the way the world works now with the digital world that we live in.
I love that. What would you say just to somebody on here who's in the beginning stages? What's the message you would have? Because it's easy to look at you, and I don't know if you got it on today, but your dope gold chain you got. Oh yeah, you'll let me down. You got the sexy gold chain going, and your Rolex probably. Usually you get your Rollie on. Oh yeah. It's easy to see you sitting there and be like, easy for you to say. What you say for somebody in the early stages of this? What's the mindset shift you went through?
Well, so, you know, you could, it's all about your mindset. It's about whatever you say it is, it becomes, you know? And I know we talked earlier this morning, and that's the good thing about having solid people around you to pick you up when you're down, because no matter how much success you have in real estate, there's going to be times where you get hit with challenges. And there's also going to be times where, you know, you might just, you might have all the success in the world and just be crushing it. And then just some inner demon inside of you is just talking bad to you, negatively to you, and you wake up feeling that way. Well, if you're not plugged in around the right people, you're gonna start believing that crap, you know. And then when you start believing that crap, then what happens? You start spiraling backwards. And so I feel like it's just great to be plugged in with everybody. And just like we was talking this morning, you know what I mean? Like I said, I told Andrew, I said, I love you and hate you at the same time. And the reason why I said that, Andrew, because, because he asked me a question and I was going to answer it with a bullshit, excuse my language. I was going to answer it with a BS answer. And I realized I couldn't answer it with that answer because I knew the exact question he was going to ask me next. And I said, you know something? I said, I love you, but I hate you at the same time. Yet I meant that out of sincerity and love, like basically like, you're my brother. You're my brother from another mother, man. And everybody in this group, out of all the groups and trainings I've been to, this has been the most support that I've ever received, from any kind of group, mastermind, or training. And, I spend a lot of money on seminars. I enjoy going to them. I'm what some people would call a seminar junkie, but this ain't no seminar. This is a group of people that became my new friends. And we're all friends. We talk on a regular basis. We text each other outside of things. And it's just amazing to be a part of that. So anybody that's just getting started, the number one thing is just, I know I rambled a little bit and I don't want to take up too much time, but the main thing is just get out your head and just do it. A car has headlights and you can only see 200 feet down the road in the dark. Yeah, you could drive down that road for 300 miles and get to your destination. So it's the same thing with real estate. It's like, all right, step one is this. When I started doing creative finance, and Leo said, did you make your calls? I said, no. I said, what? He said, why? I said, well, I'm still learning and I haven't finished studying the AMP training and blah, blah, blah. And he said, bro, that's the whole point. You're supposed to study a lesson, then go implement it. Go do what the heck we just taught you. And you know what? He's right, because you don't have to know everything. You just got to know that first step. And you take that first step. All right, now the next challenge comes up. All right, now take the next step, and so on and so forth. And that's not just for real estate, but anything in life, so.
That's so good, man. And we're going to talk about what to do when things go wrong with these deals that we're working. I want to just ask you though, David, what has been being a part of the Freedom Life family, the mastermind, what has that done for you? How's that shifted your life and your business?
Yeah, so it's not just about real estate. So just in business and life in general, for one, when you're around people that are working out, eating healthy, you start to do a little bit more of that. So, since I've been in the program, I lost about 42 pounds. So that's pretty cool. Somebody said I sound like David Goggins. That's awesome. That's a great compliment. I'm gonna take that, bro. But so I lost about 40 something pounds, just plugging in with the right people, just being held accountable, now getting up every morning, doing my morning routine, reading every morning, getting back to meditating every morning. And in turn, doing those things in the morning, and that comes from the group. In turn, it allows me to now have a better day with my family, better relationship with my children, a better relationship with my wife, and then like everything just comes together. It's not just about making money, because there's so many people making money and they're just unhappy. I got a lot of friends that are very wealthy, but they're unhappy with their life, so it's not just about making money. With Freedom Life, it just says it in the name, Freedom Life, freedom to do whatever it is you want to do. If freedom to you is fishing all day, well, you can get your real estate business automated so you can go fishing all day. If freedom to you is like Leo, you love like teaching and giving back and doing influencer social media stuff and this kind of stuff, well, then now you got the freedom to go do that. And that's what Freedom Life is. To me, I can't say what it's about. It's y'all program, but to me,
That's
what it's
powerful.
about.
And the $120,000 checks are a cool side bonus. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and it's not about well, it is about the money. I'm lying. It's all about the money. Well, here's the thing. It's not about the money. It's about what the money could do for you and for your family,
Amen, brother.
and what you could do for other people too. Somebody said to me the other day, well, money's the root of all evil. I said, hell no, money is freedom. Because when you have money, how's it the root of all evil? Well, because these rich people and their Rolls Royces and mansions and there's people out here starving. I said, well, now that's what they want to do with their money. Now, if you could make money, you could stop complaining and take your money and go feed people and feed the people that's starving. That's what you can choose to do. Yet you can't do that if you ain't got no money, right? So money is freedom. you know.
So powerful.
Sorry, I got a little excited. I hope I'm not
No,
getting
no
too
apology needed, man. This is good. Preach, brother. I love this. I love this. But thank you for sharing that. And my goodness, we are telling you we're going to be opening up some spots here in a week and a half, and I already got people DMing me going, "How do I apply?" So that's funny. Thank you so much, David. It is awesome being here with you, and I love seeing your growth. So, two more notes I want to cover in these moments we have together. When it comes to dealing with things going wrong, I just want you to expect in this business that not everything goes as planned. There is times where you get these contracts, and that's what David was just talking about was so important, because if we start the day, we start to control the day, or it controls us. That's a right or downer. We control the day, or it controls us. Either we're going to start out, we're going to drink our bottle of water, we're going to have our prayer and our meditation and our morning routine and our exercise, or we're going to get up answering the darn phone and be reactive all day. And if we can get up and start controlling our day rather than letting it control us, that's how we start handling these things that go sideways. Because you're going to get a deal and there's going to be a title problem at some point. You're going to get a deal and the buyer's going to fall through at some point. You're going to get a deal and you thought it was coming together, and then the private lender you thought was going to fund it ended up not coming to. Something is going to happen and go wrong if you do enough of these deals. Now, if it's the first deal, the challenge is that's a punch up front. And sometimes it is the first deal. Sometimes it's not till the 7th or 8th. And no matter at what time it comes, the unexpected is going to happen. Now, here's the cool thing. This is where we turn everything to a win. So number one is closing deals, right? Talk about closing deals, getting them marketed. Number two is what to do when things go sideways. You control your day and you turn this thing to a win. Now, how are we going to turn it to a win? And this is where the third note comes in. I have several more things I want to share with you. We're going to get to some questions and answers. And when it comes to turning this to a win, turning the negative to a win, this is very important. Write it down. Reverse engineering your deal. And here's what I mean by that. Reverse engineering your deal. It means you've already contracted a deal. You've already put it out. You've already got buyers lining up for this deal. And hopefully it goes to close and you get a big check. In the case that it's not going to close, or your deals are not coming together and you don't have them contracted yet, talked about joint ventures earlier. It could be that you have an ad out that says 3-bed, 2-bath, rent-to-own home, Louisville, Kentucky, or wherever. And it could be that you have people calling you. For example, let's say your deal in Louisville falls through or you don't have it. And let me pick two people here. We have Tim Keegan. So good to see you, my brother. Tim, and let's see who else I see on my screen. John Rooney and Tim. So let's say Tim is working a deal in Louisville. It falls through, but Tim has been marketing and Tim has buyers lined up. Maybe Tim has a non-refundable deposit from a buyer, has a buyer who has a non-refundable deposit of 20 grand. He finds out John Rooney has a rental that just went empty, or has a property he just acquired on terms. And he reaches out in the circle and finds out that, oh my goodness, John Rooney needs a tenant buyer for this house on 123 Main Street. So Tim, although his deal fell through, can take his buyer, JV up, and send it over to John Rooney and maybe get a $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 payday because he sent John Rooney a great non-refundable option deposit tenant buyer on his house. So when it comes to turning the negative to a win, that's reverse engineering a deal, because write this down. It's easier to find a house for a buyer. It's easier to find a house for a buyer than a buyer for a house. It's easier to find a house for a buyer than a buyer for a house. Now, I'm telling you, that doesn't mean I don't want to start with buying the house. I definitely want to buy the house. It does mean, though, that there's just as much value added on the other side. And so don't be afraid to be lining up buyers. If you want to be what I call a dispo person, and we're running out of time. So I'm going to jump to questions and answers. But I'm going to talk to you here in coming days about how to be that dispo person. And some of you are going to just be acquiring deals and you're like, crap, I don't want to go learn the dispo side now. I'm going to JV up with Amanda or Rooney or Tim or Chris or somebody else who's got tenant buyers lining up. I'm going to figure this out. All right. So we're going to be talking a lot more about that in coming days, but I want to get to your questions and answers. And Brother Leo, you hop in anytime if you have anything else to add. So what's questions and answers do we have today, Paul?
I think Paul just lagged out momentarily.
Yeah, Paul had to jump off.
Oh,
So I got your questions for
So,
today.
beautiful.
all right, Michelle's doing it.
So we have a question from Tim. He says, if someone is religious and believes that God will give them what they need to survive, but may not give them what they need to thrive, how would you try to change their mindset?
I wouldn't. That's the first thing. I want to answer it this way. And I want to just take a moment. If all of you guys could join me, give mine and Leo's incredible team a hand. They're just amazing. They are killing it every day, showing up, making us just look amazing. So thank you, team. And make sure that you let Paul know I thanked him when he wasn't here. All right. So, Tim, my first question is for someone, because, coming from a preacher's house, growing up as a preacher's kid, I can definitely relate to a lot of people who would be in that camp of believing money is somehow negative. And my response is, do you think that God wants us to help more people? And I believe I was put on this earth to help as many people as I can. And if I believe that, how can I help people if I'm surviving with just enough? I think that life sucks. And I don't think that's what God intended. And if someone disagrees with that, that's okay. They can live broke and we'll see who helps more people. And that's literally what I would say, depending on who it is. My whole objective is that we can help as many people as we can. And so I heard the question one time, said, when is enough ever enough? And my response is always, it's never enough when it's not about you. And I think that's important to remember, because how much is too much to give? I don't know. Leo and I gave more this year than we ever have before, and we plan on giving a heck of a lot more next year. So I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Next question.
A comment from Kevin. He said he actually received a $15K from his lease option buyer. They just needed a month to get the other $5K. So he wanted to correct on that.
Oh, I said he only received 10K. Darn it, Kevin. Screwing up my number.
KJ says, can you speak to creative finance or the sub-2 language?
I need some clarity on what that means.
And then that's the last question for today. I do have a comment from Sharon. She said, I have gotten so much value here with the mindset being on this call.
Awesome. Got to screenshot that one and use it in the testimonials. Shoot, y'all making us look good. Now, normally what would have happened, we would wait to bring David on until we open up the spaces, but we've been hanging out together for so long. I feel like y'all know us well enough. You want to be a part of what we're doing, and we want you getting deals. So I think we're flowing just fine. All right. KJ said, I was just trying to get more clarity on sub-2. I'll give you a 3-day seminar in the next 32 seconds. Are you ready, KJ? If everybody's ready, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. All right, good. So 3-day seminar in 30 seconds. Sub-2 language, owner finance language. It's plain and simple. We buy houses. If there's a debt on it, we cover the underlying mortgage payment until we pay it off in full at an agreed time in the future, usually the remaining term of the loan. On occasion, they ask for a balloon payment at which we agree to pay them off sooner. For example, maybe we pay them $1,000 a month, and in 5 years, we pay them the remaining balance. But generally, it's just covering the mortgage until it's paid off in full. That's awesome. Tomorrow, make sure you're coming back. We're going to be covering some really exciting stuff tomorrow. Leo, you want to wrap us up today?
Tomorrow's Saturday, yeah?
Was that?
Tomorrow's Saturday?
Tomorrow's Saturday, day 19.
Day 19, wow. Yeah. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. Let's all come together. We're gonna bring it back to the original days, but also catch up with a lot of you who are doing deals, who are doing the calls. I wanna practice some of the calls as well, maybe doing a role play or two. That's what helped that's what helped Veronica really dial in on her calls was the role play. We want to do some deal reviews, but yeah, one of the biggest things today is to really look at yourself and see again where are you going to be in the next 3 years? Who are you going to be in the next 3 years? And how can you be that today? Maybe the money isn't in the bank account just yet. Maybe the houses aren't on in the portfolio just yet. But how can you act as if you are that person today? How would that person breathe? Again, I want to bring that up. Repetition is so important. How would you sit? How would you talk? How would you do all these things if you were that person today? Because that is how it starts to come to you. That's how you start to attract these things in the conversations that you have.
And I'm going to make sure tomorrow I tell you what to do when you get to the closing table. Not doing it will cost you millions, and doing it right will make you a lot of extra money. All right. So
See
don't
you
miss
soon.
it. We'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Invite your friends and family. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.